Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. So, bit of action for me. Traded a bunch of names today. Ended slightly red across the board. Nothing really meaningful loss wise. Um, but just took a bunch of tries on a few different opportunities. So ABVE was from the Watchlist yesterday, and I was looking for a 180 to 220 shove, and we got that parabolic off the open. And then hard crack lower highs, pops for VWAP, typical entry for me. Get short there, risking highs. Rescale on this little failed fall through 140s and move risk down to the 160s. Add once more as like a trend join, looking for it to fail. If it doesn't, to size down. And it attempted to roll over and just reclaimed quickly. So nothing I was going to stick around and fight, but didn't amount to much. SEP traded long and short today. Was looking for this trend break, and SPY this morning got hit in pre coming into the open. I guess it was a bit earlier, 8:30ish, and started to unwind, and SEP started to pull back at the same time. So I was thinking, SPY has been a bit on the overbought side over like the last few days since its rally. It's been steady grind higher. So if names start getting pulled with it, and in pre we start to break this higher low trend line, so I get short and fairly wide risk, just kind of letting it do its thing. And market opens and it just chops and holds sideways. Once it reclaims and breaks out, I cut it. Not with the anticipation that this thing's going to go straight to 35. Otherwise, would have been a great long. But now we've broken this higher low trend. So do I really trust this lower high trend and this 34s break that I was looking for? If we didn't get this breakdown, I would have joined that trend. So it was a bit tough the way this one was trading. But it broke those 34s right here in a straight up fashion. That's nothing I like to chase. So I was thinking, I have to get off desk around 11, so I'll let it chop around to its thing and check back later. And I check back, an hour or so later, and this thing's over the 40s, thinking, oh my God, I missed it. And then it started to consolidate, and I'm busy. This is a decent little entry here, but I just wasn't on my computer. So I ended up getting some chase size here in after hours with risk towards these 38s. So you have that weak close that possibly shook out any momentum buyers that were long up here. Shake them out, and this over-under holds that breakout level. So if this is under 38s, then I have no reason to stick around. So I figured the risk reward wise was fine. Going from 43, if this opens at like 50, then it's a 2-to-1 trade, and it doesn't have to get going much farther than the way it is. It's already proven to run multiple days, and volume is starting to come back in, and trend is sustaining. Shorts were offside here. So as long as this holds the breakout level, and looking for a gap and go tomorrow, and we will see. So that was the long and short of that one. GRR, this one was we'll chalk this one up as a mistake. I'm still in it, giving it a bit bigger of a leash than I like. This is a rule break. I've got a decent unrealized loss on it right now. Breaking rules, not cutting losses. And yeah, we had the same kind of thing with the SPY. Overall markets pulling back into market open. I was up fairly early because as I was scanning yesterday, I noticed that it was weak and closing right along this higher low trend line. So I woke up fairly early, right around 4 a.m. my time, and put some on. Fairly small, but I was up about $1 pretty quick. So with SPY pulling back, I'm thinking pops and SPY stays heavy. So I'm shorting here, looking for pops back into prior day's resistance as a guide. And it pushes and fails and pushes and fails. If this failed 1750, I think it would have rolled over. With the S&P grinding highs and GER fading, like if you look at S&P yesterday, highs, 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 and GERS was lows, lows, lows. So I'm thinking this strength is temporary. I didn't cut it. I didn't set a stop. And now we're here. So objectively speaking, regardless of the size I was in, I think if this reclaims 21, I'm going to have to just eat the loss and stop out. I still think that there is a world where this could fail. It's done it in the past right here and then gaps down. So kind of in hope mode at this point. I didn't wait for market open, didn't wait for regular hours and this trend line to fail. So I'm going to have to deal with the consequences of that trade. Hopefully I can finagle it out, maybe add to a winner once it actually fails and get a decent trade out of it, but we'll see. My bias on it is it's still going back to 12s. It's just might not be on my time frame. WW, I was short this one today and didn't really amount to much. We had 1, 2, 3 days up, gapping into looking left resistance. The same setup I traded on SEP over here that also did not work. And it was gapping up into these looking left levels. I was short and looking to scale once it went red. So I was sized versus these mid 90s to $1 range. And then looking to add versus high a day once it went red. And we just didn't get it. So I was short on the opening pop, added through lows, and then stopped out once it reclaimed highs and VWAP. So unfortunately ended up round tripping. What I typically like about these setups is the higher they go, the better. The higher they go, the better the opportunity is. So when I'm stopping out, I'm not really upset about it. It's at $1.10. It's just a better setup. And this thing completely round trips back below my average, right back to lows. And this trend line here, what's going to show it the best? Maybe a 2-minute. This trend line here held it there, off the open on this flush, and then failed right into close, started to break it. Possible swing candidate. When I was taking my set position, I saw this one. I thought about a swing, but the range on it's not crazy. It's acting a lot choppier than I would have expected, so just accepting a miss on it at this point for now. Bass Hunter was buying when I was shorting, and he was buying dips for 79 and sold into 99. Let's see that trade. Dips into 79 and selling into 99. Nice trade. Very nice. Yeah, plenty of support over here. Just the stock is up from 10 cents to $1. It's up 800% in a few days. There's no world that I'm buying a stock that's up 800% straight up in 4 days. That's just not a consistent strategy that I find. But next time I'll just Venmo you the money because clearly you're good at it. But yeah, those are my trades from today. So currently have a few swings on. We'll see how those end up tomorrow. And let's go into the watch list. VIX, nice pop and fail into looking left. Is using this as kind of a sentiment with the overall markets. Up big after hours too, these names. Crazy. AMD. One second. This, I thought I had a trend line drawn there, $98. The once it started breaking out here through 98s, the risk reward is just shot with the gap down and reclaim steady highs in the markets. That 98 break is a big picture ABCD on a daily chart and is a setup I would like to take, but buying at 98, I've got no risk level to use. It's more of a swing idea, so I'd have to risk something like low a day, and I'm not looking to risk $6 on this name. So ended up having to miss that one. Tesla still hasn't broken out of this range. Over here through 292-ish is definitely a watch. We've got these wicks over here starting to get absorbed. And it's definitely starting to tighten. Didn't have quite as much strength. So if this plays a little bit of catch up and breaks through 292s, I like that for a possible trend join. Hood, not a terrible look either. Through this little 50 whole $half level. Doesn't look too bad. I don't think I would trade this one, but just saw it on scan, so worth a mention. And then Omex. This one here continues to hold up. So far is proving the fundamental thesis. So I'm still keeping this on watch for a bigger picture swing trade. Kind of playing with fire if holding overnight, given that they could offer. They can't offer as much as if they get it over into the 260s, but there is still that offering risk, so something to be careful of. ABVE, same kind of idea that I mentioned there on Weight Watcher, where once I get stopped, the higher it goes, the better the opportunity. And this one continues to shape up higher. Couldn't break today's highs, and a bit of a rounding top. If this were to break 160s, could get a first red day. But if this wants to continue higher, I've got nothing against that either. I'm going to be looking for this setup. I would take again. Hard crack, lower highs on a crack like that gives back 100% of its range. I would short that 9 times out of 10. So if it comes again tomorrow, I would take it, but ideally it just continues pushing highs, 2+. They did have another PR out today. I can find it. Above Food Ingredients and Palm Global Technologies advanced strategic merger with definitive agreements expected to be signed imminently. Whatever that means, some merger with some company. I don't know what that means for the stock, but looks bullish. Invini, this one here is up 2 days in a row. History of some pretty big multi-day moves. Up from 15 cents to 50. I don't think I would trade this one tomorrow. It is gapping up here in after hours. I think I would need another day higher for me to look short side on something like this. I just don't think that there's enough meat. Could pull to this like 30-cent range, but where this volume profile is. We'll see where we're gapping. If it's gapping up 70 cents or 70% plus and getting closer to $1 kind of a gap, then I might change my tune. But right around this 50-cent gap, I'm not super interested in the short for now. And then USAR, the last one here. This big picture higher low trend is testing today. So if this takes out prior bar lows, possible big picture swing fade for lower, something like this, I think is possible. You've got NB breaking down, TMC not breaking out, starting to fail and roll over. That one takes out 290, probably gets hit. So this is the rare earth and mining names. I think there was some comments with Trump. Trump comments on rare earths and a Ukraine deal today. So that's why it got hit. So it could have follow through lower. So I'll keep that one on watch for a swing trade as well. But yeah, that's what I got. It's getting close to midnight for the East Coasters, so probably wrap it up and check back in with you guys tomorrow, maybe. Bass Hunter's the only one around, but I appreciate it. Congrats on your trade on Weight Watcher. Chris is still up. Impressive. No problem, FlashNet. Yeah, gappers are pretty slow. Some of my buds that trade those gappers, they're either red on them or not trading much. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Take it easy. Trade them well. Stay safe. And I will update you guys on some of those trades probably tomorrow. Alrighty. Peace.